when Harriet was 15 years old, while she was helping a runaway slave. Harriet's master struck her in the head with a blunt metal object. Harriet's head was injured terribly, so Harriet suffered lifelong sleep epilepsy as a bone in her forehead was dented by the assault. She never slept properly because of her sleep epilepsy. But Harriet had an even worse problem. Slave status was passed down through generations. When she woke up, a slave had been sold, and when she woke up again, another slave had been beaten by their master. And this terrible experience was repeated over and over again. But nobody taught Harriet why black people should live as slaves. From then on, Harriet slowly began to realize. Harriet set in her mind that she had to pioneer her own life. She would not pass on this life of a slave to her children. And with this determination, Harriet began her escape to northern Philadelphia. At that time, most of the southern states of the United States were slave states, and the northern states were mostly free states against slavery. Philadelphia was also a free state. During this time, Harriet managed to escape to this free state. At that time, she was 29 years old. On the border from slave state and free state, Harriet opened her hands. When she realized she had crossed the state border, she opened her hands and looked to see if she was the same as she had been before. She stretched out her hands to see if this free woman was the same as before. Everything shone brilliantly. The sun shone like gold through the fields and trees. Harriet felt like she was in heaven. Harriet's feeling at that time couldn't be felt by us today. She must have been very happy. This place of freedom was like heaven for her. And Harriet wanted to live with her family and friends in this freedom, this paradise. And she thought she would like to give black slaves this free air to breathe. She felt sympathy for the remaining slaves, the pain of others, and thought that she wanted to help other slaves enjoy this paradise, so she started acting again. The first step was being aware of her own pain, and the second was empathizing with the pain of others. And she acted again. At that time, there was an organization called the Underground Railroad. It was the Underground Railroad that became a network to help black slaves escape from cotton plantations in the southern United States. This Underground Railroad had their own slang. It was a way to free the slaves. It was a route from the southern slave states to the northern free states. The second element was the station, the helper's house. A station was a place where slaves who escaped from the south and came to the north could sleep and hide. And a person who served as a guide to help people escape from the plantations in the south became a conductor. Harriet Tubman became the greatest conductor of the Underground Railroad. Harriet Tubman came to a northern free state and began to earn money doing all kinds of hard work. She worked as a janitor and odd job worker, and she started saving over and over again as a little makes a lot. Then Harriet Tubman disappeared in the spring and fall. In the spring and fall, Harriet dressed up as a granny and went south to cotton plantations to help black people escape. They didn't recognize Harriet disguised as a granny. Many slave families were rescued with the help of Harriet Tubman. Tubman always said that as a conductor, she never lost a guest. The great conductor who said she never lost a guest was Harriet Tubman. The slaves that Harriet had helped escape numbered around 300. She was the conductor or guide of these brave slaves. However, at that time, the slave states and northern free states confronted each other over economic and slavery issues, and the Civil War broke out in the United States. When the Civil War broke out, Harriet played a major role in it. During the Civil War, she was called General Tubman by Northern soldiers. Tubman served as a cook, nurse, armed scout, and spy for the Union Army during the American Civil War. She played 4 roles. What was even greater was that she personally commanded troops and successfully rescued more than 700 slaves. The previous 300 plus 700 came to a total of 1,000 slaves who were guided to heaven by Tubman. It was Harriet Tubman who gave them a taste of freedom and was sometimes called Moses, because Moses freed a lot of Israelites who were slaves from Egypt. But even after the Civil War ended, life for blacks was not easy. She created a space called Harriet Tubman's House to help black women become independent. She also provided a place for them to live. And at the end of the 19th century, women had no voting rights, no suffrage. So Harriet became the first woman to lead the women's suffrage movement. Of course, she was allied with white women. She was Harriet Tubman, a black woman who was called the female Moses, the most memorable woman in American history. During the Obama administration in 2016, Harriet Tubman was chosen to appear as the blue face on the $20 bill. It was the first time in American history that a blue figure on the currency was a black woman. However, this banknote has not yet been issued. The Trump administration continued to delay the issuance of this note, but the Biden administration expects to issue a $20 note with Tubman's face on it.